All right. Grand day, everyone. It's Shay Seeking, and yeah. So I guess I didn't really um, I had been dwelling and contemplating on some things lately, and you know, this morning, a verse came to mind about don't look. Apologies. I had to get up early and take somebody to the airport, so I'm kind of a little bit out of it. But it was on my mind, so I couldn't go back to sleep until I went ahead and found out what we're talking about. So, anyways, I went into Proverbs, and I didn't realize that we were talking about again Solomon um, in Proverbs. I really didn't realize that, um, until I just came into it. So I decided to go to the beginning and see. Oh my goodness. Okay, so again, um, so anyways, I just wanted to look into it and start at the beginning, I guess. I don't know, because when it comes to Proverbs, I'm just like in and out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've ever done like a front to back of Proverbs. I've listened to it, because sometimes I'm listening, sometimes I'm reading, whatever. But we're going to go ahead and read this really quick. It shouldn't take that long. Again, sometimes just hearing somebody read it, somebody other than yourself, even with a slight um, way of explaining or expounding, or just even the way we look at the words and stuff on the channel, can possibly help somebody. It helps me. So again, since I was going to read it, I started to read it. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and record while I read. Because again, it's just like, I don't know, just having like an empathic energy. Sometimes I can sense things that are going on with me, but then sometimes there's other things that I can sense that are going on with people that, I guess you don't really know when it comes to social media, who's your real, who really rocking with you or not, regardless if it's friends, family, co-workers, or whatever. So, but again, it doesn't stop me from being able to see something about them or feel a sense of something about, just whatever. It's like, I don't know. It's very strange. But so I figure, I wanted to go ahead and read it. Okay. So it says here, look, I can't, let me go get my glasses. I'm already like struggling. Okay. So, yeah, so let's just go into it and just see, right? So, it's saying okay. I got to get these little words at the top. The use of this proverb, an exhortation to fear God and believe his word. And it says, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. I prefer not to use the term understanding in my general day-to-day because, again, it's for you to stand under something. And it's just, I don't know. How we were talking about the chair and air situation and what I know they say what it represents, but what does it really represent at the end of the day? Because this is kind of what we're talking about in the whole text is about genealogy, heredity, and things like that. So I think it's funny how people consider how we sometimes consider documents again made by man's hands. Same way this book is written, supposedly the word of God, but by man's hand, but one without the other. Like, because again, genealogy in the spiritual realm is here, in the text, and again using certain things like we can just say the Akasha or Akashic records. Some of us are able to go in that way. And some, and it gives a sense of knowing certain things, especially even using it even to, right. Okay. So, to each his own, though. Like I said, everybody has their way. Everybody's on their journey. Everybody has their connection to source or not. So, anyways, it says to know wisdom and instruction to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom. Okay, justice and judgment and equity, to give subtly to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation of the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Now, again, we're going to have to keep going back here because I think with this one, we're going to pull out the term son and see what we've really been talking about all this time, and to see that it has something to do with giving birth. It actually has something to do with, I think Old English is son, but it says right after son, descendant. So son just means descendant. Okay. So again, it breaks it down to make me think about how everybody is not the same. And Elohim, or again, source. Again, I look at source or Adonai or Father, as saying my God, right? But, when it comes, oh, that thing scared the mess out of me. But when it comes, it's a chipmunk in there. But I say Elohim again because, it's said that it means gods or plural. And so, I do know that there are different beings and creatures and type, on this plane. And that's just, how it is. So. So again, I wanted to go back to the point that we should, when I see something small like that, like an adjustment where something like wisdom is called specifically a woman, or we also know that, you get a feminine aspect when you think of it anyway. Same thing with the Ruach, okay? And a lot of times I think that it seems as though these things have been covered. Just like if we're saying son means descendant or someone that gives birth. Well, you see, we can look at that in two ways. We could be talking about birthing when it comes to birthing of a nation, or birthing when ships come to dock, or we could be talking about birthing as in giving birth out of a womb. And so again, either we talking about, this is just to bring an awareness, right? Not to judge or do anything like that to anybody, but what are we really seeing here? Or are we talking about, someone that would be of like an androgynous form, right? Or are we talking, that would be the only way, for a son, if we were thinking it means what we thought it means, would be able to give birth. They would have to be, androgynous. They would not be able to be a regular man. We just haven't seen it yet, right? Okay. So again, so are we talking about women then? Womb with the, you know what I'm saying? So that, and again, when we think about sons of God as being, well, I can't say specifically angels, right? They would be more like servants or whatever. But again, angels again just represent symbolically or allegorically to me soldiers. It's just what it is, because I'm seeing it the way of the timeline of, Genesis having to do with colonization, so, or agriculture in a sense, because the crop and the fruit and all those things in Genesis 1 is talking about particular groups of people. When you break and it's not what I'm saying. The spirit was put on me to break down this and start looking at these things this way. Now, then we can look at the terms and see what they actually mean. And so again, it's more so not like me altering the words of God, as me identifying what these words actually mean, instead of us going off of what we thought that they meant, because we've been taught a false way of reading the dictionary and things like this in school, and we are not using etymology and we're not studying the words. So most of us are ignorantly, 90 something percent of people are ignorantly, I feel, reading the text. Well, you might have a connection. See, we have connection with source. And I think that in this time, again, it feels as though in this time, there is something happening on a different level, a different scale. Something like what I'm saying, I used to say to myself as a little girl, that if God wanted, why would he need me to go to church? Why would he need me to have this book? If he wanted me to do something, why couldn't he just go ahead and send me a message about it, or let me know in some kind of way so that then I can go ahead and do this? I don't think I need anybody, And so it's kind of like that. See, I've been going back to a lot of things that I thought as a child, because children are just, I don't know. It makes you really, once you start thinking like this, you get older, and then you start having to go back to when you were a child, and you see these things or remember these things, and then you hear some of the things. And I think maybe it's just even hearing some of the things that's coming out of the mouth of the youth today that has me listening and shutting my mouth sometimes. I'm not even playing. Like even lately, I noticed that just being overwhelmed to a certain extent at times with lots of things that have been going on in the spiritual realm and in this worldly realm, that sometimes I've been shutting out noise, and people have to call my name twice, or, like this. And so it's, I have had to, again, slow down and just listen when, it's just my youngest now. So, when she's speaking, because it's like she's some kind of 80-year-old woman, and she swears she thinks she is. But, yeah, it's just something. It's just something to see and witness. There's a lot of things that if you don't slow down and pay attention, it's a lot of things that if we don't slow down and pay attention, we will miss these things. So again, that's way off subject, and I'm not even supposed to be there. But we know that from the Apocrypha, which was taken out, and you wonder why, it's saying that this wisdom is a woman. So anytime when they saying that, that's what resonates with me. That's what it seemed like, is what I thought before I knew. And so, that's what we're going to go with. So, let's see. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And then it also says those that don't have wisdom should go to God, right? In Wisdom of Solomon. So obviously it's saying that some people have a connection with wisdom, and they should maybe seek her. And so maybe that's what we're talking about when we're talking about your mother and your father, the law of your mother here. Because it definitely says that those that don't have should then go to, right? But I'm guessing that means that if you do have wisdom, that's who you could go to. because maybe there's another type of communication or another type of connection is what I mean, that these particular individuals might have or beings might have with wisdom. Maybe even that son. So again, the whole thing about Solomon and the mother and the son, if we really break these words down, we'll see that they don't even mean what we thought they meant in the first place. And so that's why we're confused. So when we're talking about the son, they want you to think that we're only could be talking about a male, when I have news for you that we could be talking about feminine too. I just think it has something to do with divine male, masculine and feminine, or male and female. Okay. So, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. So it's saying my son. So this is saying my descendant, or my. Let's just go to it just in case. Okay, we're not looking at that. Look, where am I at? That's all right, because I don't want y'all on in my business. We'll find it, or you can look it up on your own. Okay. So it says here, my son, hear the instruction of thy father. Okay. So my descendant, hear the instruction of thy father, whoever thy father would be at that time. It's funny how father sounds a lot like further. Farther. And forsake not the law of thy mother. So obviously the mother hath laid down some type of laws that the children, again, it's just reminding me of the unruly children that don't want to listen to the mother. And it's almost like even making me think of Mother Earth and the laws of nature even, right? That again, look, and we use the word just to inspire other thought of things that are actually going on past, present, and future. So we can just have a better understanding. That's just it. But yeah, it seems that, sometimes we all forget about the laws of nature. And again, it's that comes with that ancestral connection that I feel like some religious people, individuals or beings want us to stay away from, that aspect of just honoring thy. If you're not, okay, if it says honor thy mother and father, then what are we talking about if we don't speak on those who have come before us? You see, we speak on presidents that have come before us. We speak on entertainers. We speak on all of these types of people, but we cannot speak on our ancestors, the ones that blood, you know what I'm saying? Right? The very bones are underneath the soil in the homes and stuff that we have built here today. And if it weren't for them, you wouldn't be here. But a lot of these is conflicted. It conflicts with the fact that a lot of this stuff happened due to the fact of colonization and agriculture. And we're not understanding that had to do with them. They are the soil. We are the soil. Freedom is our birthright. When did we ever come under the impression that it should be anything else? And so, and it came, it just made me think about the culling of men over time, and the women are the ones that are actually taken in the crop or whatever that's chopped down and taken in and harvested or whatnot. Just strange once you think about it. So it says, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head. Okay. Which is making me think of some kind of crown, actually. Oriental, not oriental, but ornamental type of something. and chains about thy neck. Okay. It's kind of reminding me of the unicorn on the coat of arms that we did that breakdown on a couple weeks back. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lie or lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Okay. So again, since I'm thinking coat of arms, this is also making me think of something, even like being cut off as a nation or people doing certain things in those times and in these times to distract or destroy or slander or um, from people from, their truth or their identity. And again, it's not always all that, but there is a large uh, form of spiritual warfare and attack going on that is almost unbearable, right? For you to even focus on anything else. And then, and the energy will come around and just like, it feels like it pokes fun, like, and I don't like to give these energies names. People say demon and devil, that's whatever, negative or positive. And so, and they'll taunt you as though, when it comes to certain things, as though you're in the wrong and there's something wrong with you all the way. When, I'm someone that can definitely, I want to look at myself and try to right my wrongs as much as possible. And I barely try to point out, what I'm saying? I try not to point out others. And sometimes, like I said, it happens and I will have to correct myself or apologize, But it's almost like as if something is wrong. And I don't know, I just get this thing where something wants us to be in fear and something wants us to doubt ourselves and something wants us focused on things that really don't matter to the soul, things that we can't take with us when we leave here, things that don't really matter at the end of the day, and I don't know, that just made me think something about that. I don't know. Time, that's something you can't get back. So it's just like however you like to spend your time, at this time. And if it brings you some kind of peace and solitude and some kind of understanding or some kind of substance or substance, in your life, then it's whatever, So I keep telling my children, like you have the right to, I may not have done all the things I wanted to, but I don't want to hold you back from doing. I want to be here to support you as much as possible and help you see, what I'm saying, why I'm here so that you can go out and do those particular things. Because a lot of people, I think sometimes can be a little bit, fearful or jealous or just stuck in their own mindset to, or maybe they're just ignorant of, not in a mean way, or just not aware of certain things. And so, if I put too much of even my way and my upbringing on them, it's going to be burdensome to them, So again, I just try to let them know that, you can do, I don't like to hear people say, I have to do it this way, because, with some kind of support or as far as like if you're a family, if you put your heads together and things like that, I think that sometimes, especially when it comes to me, it's like a thing where I do some stuff sometimes when I'm forced to have to do it. And so I think that like in these times that are going on in this hard time, people are being forced to bring people into their homes. They're being forced to, extend themselves out a little bit. And, it could be good or it could be a bad thing. But that you can, there are people that actually do pull away from the construct and go off and do something, and they can actually be prosperous. So this is just not to say neither here nor there. It's just to say that people have been able to plan, right? Or get together with others and plan something in order to go about and be somewhere where they can be somewhat free from society, coming out of her. Homeschooling, gardening, and doing these particular things. Okay. that people can do that, and they don't have to live by this way that people say, well, you gotta do that. I just don't like the way that sounds. And you may go through hard times and times where you don't know where to go, what to do, and what's next. But again, I think that, okay, if you do have faith, it's always hard for me to use the word. I'm trying to get used to it. Okay. um, yeah. Then and if have, yeah, you can do it. I mean, it's going to take more than faith, because faith without works is dead, right? So, but sometimes you just need a little bit of guidance or a little bit of something like that is what I'm saying. Okay. Right. So it doesn't always have to be financial something. When I'm saying support, it could be also some type of guidance. So, I don't know. Anyways, let's just keep on going. Okay, come with us. Let us lie and wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. So again, this is sounding like they want to do something to somebody that is really innocent, really bad, and they're just waiting for the opportunity to pounce. Okay, he's warning against these particular type of people. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. I don't know. This is making me think we're talking something about the caste system or the class. I don't know. It's just making me think that we shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. So again, I mean, it almost sounds as though someone, like I said, I mean, if we think about like mining, if we think about fracking or all these things that's going on within this land, and we think about, the fact that some people are being led to do certain things in order to retrieve lands, right? And certain people are buying land and certain people are doing these things. So, it's almost like someone has already a heads up on these things. And again, yeah. So, I mean, this is just what it kind of sounds like. Or we could just say that, like, because this is what's going on now, so we're just looking at how closely this could be something that's being talked about then. Because we know this whole thing, they call it history repeating itself, it just keeps happening. It's the reset. So, so again, also like it's almost like even let me keep you over here. Let's keep somebody directly distracted with something while we're over here doing this. So while you're looking at that, this is what we're going to be doing, right? And then again, I have to say this, and I'm not pointing any fingers or saying anybody in particular, but it's just something that, again, I do feel that we have to do these particular works to show thyself prove in a way. And I think it's great that people have communities to help each other out or whatever. But those that are picky about who they help or how, I just question. I mean, I just will hope that it's not nothing that's in their heart, the reason why they're not, right? Because there will be people that are not genuinely tied to these particular things that will be able to benefit or will get their hands on things that actually don't belong to them, or it wasn't their turn, or something of this nature. And again, it may be, something like that. So it's not anything in particular. I'm just saying just the way that things have gone in the past and things are actually going now. It's just something to look out for. Okay. Swallow them up alive in the grave, and those who go down in the pit, as those that go down in the pit. So again, and this is just how I'm seeing it. Like the ones that are in the pit that are not living, right? They will be in hell or in the Sheol or dead by law, possibly. you know, um, maybe these are like the whole thing about like getting eaten up like moths, that's what's happening to certain things that are due to you because of a status, which is ridiculous to me. But again, um, but then again, I feel like it's saying something like it was reminding me of one day the other day when I was reading that the same thing that they think they're doing to someone else, there's always going to be a bigger animal. Could you just like imagine the frog, sticking his tongue out and he grabs the fly and he eats, but 10 seconds later there's an alligator that comes, you know what I'm saying? Or like a big fish that comes and eat the frog, and then after that, so again, it's just like the whole pyramid scheme thing again. I think it was in James that I was reading about something like that. Or even like those that are in debted to lenders, and then the poor man, I don't know, it was something else that we were reading. Hopefully, I think we're going to get to it here, possibly. So anyways, while someone thinks they're getting someone is going to get them. Okay. Cast in thy lot among us, let us all have one purse. So this is like almost making me think about, some these people doing this, and they're going in with each other, almost even like it could be a family, like a bloodline. Because again, I think that if we go into this, I don't think we could, right? If we go into how deep things are, because remember, there were those that let's just say Nephilim in a sense. So that bloodline, there's still streaks of certain things again. And I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything. I'm just saying let's just tie this all together and string it together. That if this had happened, if you believe these things have happened and you believe these things, then, there's still strands of certain DNA and things and makeups on this plane right now. And, yeah. But anyways, so you may be tied to family members that you see, and we'll just say that there's family members that you don't see, or as above, so below, and who is more has more rank and pull now than who. And so those that do would have more ways of moving, even distracting, or even something like this when it comes to those who may be more ignorant to some of these matters, some that got a late start. I don't know, it just seems like there's just this urgency of these whole 10 past years, right? That I feel like something, the hell has gone on in it, really, with time and something, right? And there's some helpers here, and there's some that just know what the deal is, and they waiting to cash out, and again, it's just the way I feel like I see it on those levels. If we go into different dimensions and realms and things, and then we dealing with what's going on and what we can actually see right now, so because there has been a somewhat collapse already, and I think it's kind of ridiculous. I think there's no reason on earth why the Social Security, again, I'm just saying, for just people that I would just be frustrated if I was someone that needed something, but should be closed, talking about because of what? Do you see what I'm saying? When Six Flags is open by appointment only, like at the certain appointment times, the shit just go see, like really. It's just like, okay, COVID, sit over here real quick. We got an appointment over here, so we'll let you back out when they leave. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. But let's keep going. So again, coming together basically just means people coming together. Like, I mean, I just hope people already know this kind of stuff. I'm just talking, I guess. So this is some people going together and trying to keep away certain individuals. And again, these may be heirs. I mean, they still have the blood running through their veins. So again, this is where those people are going to have to wait on the Lord, because whether it's something that they didn't do right, something, some kind of blockage, something where they have been tried, or they have been, given a hard time, or kept from, or blotted out. These particular things, these people are going to have to wait, I feel. Okay. Like that's what the word is saying. When I say I feel, I'm feeling like that's what we're interpreting when we're reading the word. Just like when you read it, you interpret it and you see it some kind of way. That's the way, that's the only thing we're doing. So it says, my son, which also just means descendant, because we could be talking about a daughter today too, you know. Walk not thou in the way with them, refrain thy foot from their path, for their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread, in the sight of any bird. Wow. And again, that you see what I'm saying? Even like I'm just thinking, like of birds in a cage, and something that I was even listening to or reading last night. And it's just like this whole feeling of this snare thing. It's almost like even being provoked or incited to argue with each other, or do these particular things, or being rubbed the wrong way so that you can come out and, and it's almost like enough is again, for me, you know what I'm saying? I just, I feel like I know who I am enough to know that I don't have to fight for nothing. What's mine is due, and it's going to come, right? As long as I keep working on myself in different, well, I guess in all ways, forms, and fashions, right? But especially when it comes to diligently seeking the word and communing with Elohim, okay, or the Father, right? And the mother. That means me walking in nature, doing things, getting, back in tune with self. Because again, I'm the soil. So again, I know who I am. I'm getting to know myself even more each day. And, I see it as though nobody can tell me anything. No piece of paper is going to tell me anything. But that's not me saying that people shouldn't do genealogy and people shouldn't do these things. You absolutely should. That's just me saying confirmation. I'm here on another mission. I'm here to do something whole different, probably even from a different place. I don't know. Sometimes it feels just so foreign, in a matter where I'm not really, my mindset, right? It's just not really for this world like that anymore, right? But I'm also not against it, right? I'm not with it, right? But I'm also not against it 100%, but I oppose to certain things, just, whatever. It's just the way I see it. Or else we wouldn't be here to speak certain things into, into view if it was not something. We wouldn't be here as the sons and daughters that are going to prophesy and do these things right now if it weren't something that we were supposed to do. Okay? So again, what I mean by that is also, I just don't see any worldly, outwardly value of anything in this place anymore. When it comes to material things and merchandise and stuff like that. I need to have what I need, and that's it. A little bit more, yes, would be nice for anybody, but I'm just me. And I've been pulling away from this for a very long time. Because again, as long as we feed that particular, right? See, and there's a lot of contradicting of things like this in this text, I feel, if you know what I mean. So, where it's talking about money, but then again, money is being asked for, but then it's talking about, that money is not, is the root of all evil, or money is not, we'll get to it, okay, because we're going to read it after this. All right, y'all, I don't know, I'm just getting a little distracted. Like I said, I only had 2 hours of sleep last night. Okay, swallow up alive. Okay, in the grave. Boom, boom, boom. So again, the alive people might be the ones that are living now because they've come out of that particular status. But at some point in time, them doing these things, I'm just saying that they may want to be looking out for something else coming, or those that may not be able to keep up with the particular land, and then somebody else coming in and taking or getting it because again it would just be repeating itself over and over again, same thing as in the past, or run off of it or something like that. Okay. Excuse me. So okay, and they lay and wait for their own blood. Hold on. Okay, their feet run to evil. Da da da. Okay, so surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Wow. Yeah, I feel like that's what it's talking about. And they lay wait for their own blood. Wow. I mean, this sounds like family feuds or family ties or something like that. Hmm. They lurk privily for their own lives. Huh. For their own lives. You know, it's almost like just like they lurk privily for their own, and it puts that in italics. It puts own in italics. Huh. You know, even like too, like using energy, you know, to like some of us are able to tap into certain things. And you know, I find myself worrying about what's going on with my life and what's going on because again, I feel like a lot of us are targeted in different ways, or even subjugated to a lot of things, you know, whether it is from Elohim, meaning gods, could be yours or another one that is opposed to you, or we're talking about things that man would be manipulating. Okay. And so it's almost like you're just always fighting and you're always tired, you know. So again, that's a way also to keep people distracted. Keeping people hustling is keeping us distracted from things that maybe, I'm just saying, um, matter a little bit more. So I tend to maybe go into mind mode a lot more than I should. And I'm trying to also balance getting back into the swing of, you know, actually doing other things when it comes to business. So, you know, it can be very hard and balancing family and things like that with all these extra things. But with worry and stress and fear, it makes it really hard. So that's why I just try to wake up every day with a pure heart and a smile on my face. And, you know, whatever happened yesterday, it happened. You know, because again, when you're dealing with that spiritual realm, it's a lot of stuff that hovers over and it lingers, you know. So I'm trying to make sure I clear myself and clear my mind before I go to bed and be in a relaxed mode. And when I wake up in the morning, I want to feel some kind of way. Even if I take me 2-3 hours to sit here, if I got the time, I'm going to use it. And that's just going to be for me to gain clarity and some type of balance before I start the day. So it's just like, sometimes I can feel selfish. Like I think that's what where I was going. But then again, is it selfish or, you know, there's another term I wanted to use, a word, shoot. Oh, self-centered. You know, what is really wrong with when I looked up the word, then I said, what's really wrong with being